What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Please subscribe so that I can actually give back to you guys much more, provide you with more quality content. Now, today's video, we have our double champ, and we are actually going to go through the contest prep, the ins and outs of what happened and what we managed to do with her competitive season. So we've got the wife in the hot seat. I'm incredibly proud of her, and I'm very much looking forward to covering what we did, showing off her success, and more importantly, getting stuck into our Olympia prep. So guys, let's get it. A little bit of an update from me and the wife. Two-time Ifbb Pro winner, and arguably she would have been three-time Ifbb Pro winner if she did not let her nerves and stress get to her on her first show. But that's something to learn, and that's something to take away for this year's season. So, update on the prep. 21-week prep altogether. Taking her body weight down a substantial amount. I think we started around 73 kilo, and we ended up on the lightest around 58 kilo, which is actually lighter than she was in 2022. However, much leaner and definitely much bigger. Now, the feedback we got from judges was absolutely tremendous. She's a perfect figure athlete, right? She doesn't need more size. It's just the structure that she has definitely makes her look pretty big with her X-frame. But she only weighs 58 kilo. And I do have some figure girls. Majority of my figure girls actually weigh probably 6, 7, 8 kilo more. And from what I know, a lot of the figure girls are definitely much bigger, especially when you see them in a lineup. So definitely some great feedback from Tyler and Ifbb Becky, which I am incredibly grateful for, because they have given me a great reference point of what I need to do with Meg now for her Olympia prep, which pretty much started now. We're 24 weeks out from the Olympia. Now, first point that I want to cover is the 21-week prep that we did wasn't just a straight 21-week prep where we actually came down. And this is more so a little bit educational for you guys as to how you should map out your preps in order to get the success that you possibly can whilst retaining the muscle and actually getting stage lean. So Aaron's actually going to pull pictures of Meg before and after right now to show you the starting point and the end product of the prep. And within that prep, we actually spent 3 weeks, actually 4 weeks out of that prep in maintenance or even a slight surplus, because 3 weeks out of that prep was done in a diet break. Every time she took a deload, I made her eat. She took a diet break. She wasn't actually directly trying to achieve fat loss within those weeks. And them weeks have allowed her to drop a lot of fatigue, allowing her to push, maintain her training performance, and be able to progress within each block of her fat loss phase. So the prep was broken down into 3 parts. Each phase had a fat loss phase alongside a diet break and a deload. And that is how I structure my preps with a lot of my clients. There's obviously instances we'll have to pivot and change timelines, and there is outliers where we can push those phases for a little bit longer or even shorter. So it will definitely vary person to person, but as a reference point, you should always pre-plan your preps as to how you're going to approach them, and plan in weeks where you are actually going to spend time in either maintenance with calories or even a slight surplus. Because if you try and do a contest prep to try and truly get stage lean without the time of putting your foot on the brake, the likelihood of you retaining the muscle that you've built is going to be very slim, because your body will suffer more than it has to. Especially for the people that try to deload when they get tired, and they still try to diet, and they still try to stay in a calorie deficit. It just defeats the object, because a calorie deficit itself will further drive fatigue. So if you want to nail a prep, key is actually mapping out your prep, executing it. Again, the main most important thing is execution, right? You need to be ticking those boxes, and you need to make sure that your adherence is great, you're not eating when you shouldn't be, and then you're not taking calories away when you shouldn't be at the same time as well. So I do think we've nailed this prep down. It's given me a lot of data and feedback as to how hard I can actually push her, and what I need to do in order to bring her physique to life, and how we need to manage, especially the last couple of days before the show. In my opinion, the best look would have been for her first show. The way she looked the day before, and even the day before that, was absolutely insane. With the fullness that we had, the condition, and arguably, and this is a huge point for you guys listening, is stress can definitely impact your physique massively. And obviously, I couldn't be there because I'm in prep, and she's very understanding of that, and I do appreciate that as well. But she hasn't competed for 2 years. And with that in mind, I think stress got the better of her, and we definitely faded the day before and on the day where she flattened off a lot. And I think if you get stressed and worked up, which arguably you did, it will definitely have an impact on your physique. And the way you looked on that Thursday and Friday morning was just incredible. I think that was definitely best look. So
that was 2.5 kilos heavier than my lowest weight.
Yeah.
I don't think that I needed to be as lean, but because, and not that I didn't need to be as lean.
Yeah.
I don't think I needed to be as light. We can talk about 58 kilos, or we can actually talk about the best look.
I think your best look was about 60 kilo.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think for the Olympia, that's the look that we'll be able to bring. We'll be able to bring, I think, arguably better condition and the fullness that we had for the first show.
Yeah.
But we kind of played it safe there after that to be able to bring even a better look because of the travel and I think the stress that your body went under. I think we needed to do what we needed to do to bring that look.
The fatigue build up over those 3 weeks as well.
I think that's affected you. I think that's where you lost a little bit of weight as well because you did do the 3 shows and bounce. But arguably, I think the look held because, again, she stuck to her diet. She didn't actually go nuts with the food post-show. And that's a huge point where you do shows back-to-back, week by week. You can do that and you can still get better. But ultimately, what will dictate your ability to actually get better will be your diet adherence. If you step off stage and you have a pizza or burgers, especially after the carb that we did, you was bursting full. So imagine if you went ham on food straight after, your weight would have shot up and then would have to work to bring that back down. Whereas instead, we had a big bowl of oats, or actually a couple of them, and you actually woke up lighter the next day. And that gave us a point to work from and then not have to dig to try and get any unnecessary body fat or even water weight off, because people are under the assumption that you can't gain body fat off one meal. Well, let me tell you, if you're carb loaded and you're fully glycogen loaded after a full peak week, right? If you then have 5,000 calories in one sitting when you're already bursting full, which you was, what do you think is going to happen? Like, your body has to store fat, store something, and it will, in my opinion, store some body fat and water, even off one massive meal. And I think people can easily, definitely post-show, go crazy with the food.
Yeah, I agree. I think that people forget to hydrate.
Yep, that's a big point.
And that's one of the reasons why they overeat, because they think that they need more, but they actually just need water.
Yeah.
And not that you'd not pulled at my water, if anything.
No, we didn't.
That's the most that I've ever drank around a show day. And we'd actually had a conversation in 2022
You needed more.
That we said, oh, maybe we should actually do less water.
But
maybe we should do more kind of sugary snacks. Whereas, like, we did the complete polar opposite of that, and they were all very good looks.
Yeah.
But no, people don't hydrate enough after they step off stage, and that's why they overdo it on food.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, back to show number 1. I think your presentation as well. I think because you're so nervous. Yeah, and I was very honest with her as well. I think you didn't present as well as you could.
No.
And I think that had an impact. And Tyler even said to you, if you came back at night show the way you did in the morning, you would have won. Right. And that was from the head judge, which definitely gave us a lot of confidence. It gave me a lot of confidence, and it gave you confidence, because then second show was a complete game changer, and your attitude completely changed across that week, and your physique came to life. I still think that you potentially needed a little bit more food, and I still think for us to be able to bring a better package to the Olympia, we need a little bit more glute as well.
100%.
Yeah, because I think pulling you down in the condition that we need, I think we need more glute for the fullness to actually stay there whilst getting in condition. Yeah. So that's going to be a plan of action for the Olympia. Second show, I think we nailed it, because again, she adhered, she relaxed a little bit more. It was a great look.
I think that was my best look, just on stage.
Yeah.
Just because. Yeah.
But I do think you got even a little bit better, slightly, for the third show, maybe. But then, because you got a little bit sick and you felt tired, the amount of food that she needed was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like 4,500 calories.
Yeah, and this is where you have to pay attention to your athlete, and you have to be reactive with the process. It doesn't matter that she's a 58 kilo female. If someone needs food, you need to feed them. And I had these instances with bikini athletes that needed a lot of food for the physique not to fade, especially when someone gets very lean. Your body can do crazy things, right? And this is where I literally had to say to her, you're going to have to trust me here. Remember that day? I said, you're going to have to trust me here. And this is what you're going to have to eat. And I think on that day, it was like 900 grams of carbs. Yeah. And you actually woke up next day, like 0.2 down. And then the following day, it was even more. And you woke up again better and better. And again, this is where I think a lot of people are afraid in a peak week to actually eat. And I get it, because when I get into that mindset in prep, I almost get in a spot where I'm scared to eat because I don't want to ruin what I've worked for. And you do get,
You either get that type of athlete or someone who's...
Yeah, someone that's overweight. Yeah. But for me, it's almost like when I get in that mindset that I'm in right now, I almost want to suffer more. So eating almost makes you feel like you're being weak, which you shouldn't feel like that. And I think that's something that's let me down in my past preps. And it's something I'm working on to be better with this time around. It's something that's essential to if you want to stay big as well. But I do think this prep has given us a lot. And I do think for the Olympia now, we will have a chance to do a lot better. Now, I've got some high goals set for her and set high expectations, as I do for all my athletes. So just because she's my wife, she don't get no special treatment. Trust me, everyone gets the same treatment and everyone gets the same attention. She knows how I work. But there's going to be 4-figure athletes at the Olympia, hopefully this year, potentially even 5, including you. So it's going to be a battle, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. So we definitely have some very, very high goals for this year. We've got a great reference point for what needs to be done now. She still looks tremendous. She's going to have some food today because she needs it. And then we've got 12 weeks now of coming up, bit of a mini off season, and then back into a 12-week prep. Coming down nice and slow. We are going to need to put some weight on, yes, just to make sure that she feels good in the gym and she can actually make some progress. But we are going to have to keep it within striking distance, allowing us to have that 12-week window to get completely ready and inside out. So as a rough figure, she's probably going to need to go up about, I would probably say about 8 kilo-ish, potentially even 9. That's the rough figure I've got in my head for this push-up for the 12 weeks, maybe even less. It all depends what her feedback's like with her body. And then we'll have a great start point for the prep for the Olympia at 12 weeks out. So I'm very much looking forward to the year. And when it came to this prep, big thing that I want you to take away, guys, is as much as we like to have a vision and a plan for what you need to do, you need to be reactive towards what's happening. All my athletes, when they actually get to close to the show, 2-3 weeks out, they actually start checking in with me daily, because the changes can be quite fast on a daily basis. So you have to be reactive towards the process as to what's happening. You have to analyze. You have to listen to your actual feedback from the client. And more importantly, you have to pay attention to the visuals and see what's happening from the person, not just on scales. So when I have check-ins come through, I don't look at the body weight first. I actually look at the pictures first. And even with Meg, sometimes she didn't send me weight, and I'd send her the changes and what she needs to do without even seeing her weight, because I can see what's going on physique-wise. So that's something I want you all to definitely take away from. You have to pay attention to what's happening with the visuals and then be reactive towards that process. And definitely do not be afraid to feed your athletes in a peak week. And don't get me wrong, some people, and I do have athletes that I'm working with, that genuinely just need a very little amount of food and it does the job. However, some athletes, unfortunately, they need a lot. So you have to pivot and you have to make the right decision for that right person. And it's very individual as well. So you have to pay attention to feedback and make the right call at the right time. So Olympia prep, 2-time Ifbb Pro winner. Extremely proud and extremely happy for her. It's definitely inspiring watching what she's done, and definitely makes me happy. And I even got some special banners and stuff when she got home. That was quite cool. She probably didn't expect it. She definitely didn't expect it. She probably didn't even think. Did you think I did it, or did you think someone else did it?
I don't think either my mum or your mum.
Yeah, thought so. Yeah, it was my idea, and I sorted it all out. Your dad hung it up though. I'm useless. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed today's little update on the team. We're going to the Olympia. We've got 9 pro wins now with Team MK, which is epic. And again, another year from a British coaching team with the most athletes from Britain getting coached by us at the Olympia, which will be great. We're going to have quite a few amateurs actually doing the Olympia this year as well, from yourself, and quite a few pros from ourselves. I am hopeful for actually an Ifbb Open Pro to do the Olympia this year that I'm working with. So Jason, make sure you keep that focus that you've got right now, because things are happening. So let's get it. Guys, please like, share, subscribe, do all the fun stuff, and peace out for now.